There may be more luxurious and way more expensive cars around, but nothing screams engineering excellence like flagship sedans from the German Holy Trinity. Even today, these three brands from Munich, Ingolstadt, and Stuttgart represent the gold standard of the premium segment. So today, we're about to compare the best the three companies have to offer. BMW 7 Series versus Audi A8 versus Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Get ready for the ultimate luxury sedan face-off. Of course, let's start with design and some basic info. We'll start with the BMW, considering it's the youngest of the three. The current generation has been around since last year, and by the look at the styling, that's quite obvious. It features the most futuristic styling of the three, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Namely, this new 7 Series seems bulky and somehow over-designed. There are simply too many things going on there, and some areas even look cubby, like they were borrowed directly from some SUV. Audi, on the other hand, is the oldest in the pack, with the current generation being around since 2017. The 2022 refresh brought a few novelties, but the overall styling remained pretty much the same. The A8 looks fairly elegant like most Audis, though we feel it lacks something to stand out. It looks too similar to its smaller siblings, such as the A6, and that's why it's attractive enough only for the second place. The best designed model is the S-Class in our humble opinion. Introduced in 2021, the current generation looks quite impressive because, even though it's still pretty fresh, futuristic details don't stand out. Instead, this sedan is all about classic design solutions, full of smooth and clean lines, as you'd expect from a car that needs to represent the ultimate flagship. On the inside, things seem quite the opposite. Once again, Mercedes did a great job in terms of aesthetics. The S-Class looks elegant and features some pretty shiny materials, but some areas can look a bit kitschy. What's a bigger issue is the fact that a vehicle like this deserves better build quality. Namely, although high-end materials are all around, it's still easy to find a few scratchy areas, while some parts of the dashboard aren't assembled particularly well. On the other hand, the sound insulation is probably the best of the three, with soundproofing that instantly leads to a state of tranquility. Audi designers have always been real masters when it comes to interior, and the A8 is a perfect example. Despite it's been around for a long time, the current generation still looks pretty impressive from the inside. Clean dashboard lines, along with perfectly integrated screens and other tech goodies, make a perfect combo, and, as usual, Audi's build quality is excellent. Finally, the BMW. One look and it's clear that this is the youngest model in this comparison. Its dashboard may not be as elegant as in the case of the S-Class, but that massive curved panel makes it look very high-tech. Moreover, the lines are clear and represent a big improvement over the previous generation. Still, the biggest quality of all is the impeccable mix of high-quality materials and excellent build quality. We never thought we would say this, but the BMW is the clear winner when it comes to interior quality. As for comfort, it's obvious that all three models offer well-designed seats with an excellent mix of comfort and ergonomics. Still, it's good to say that in the second row, Audi shows some signs of aging, considering that its rear seats are not as cushy as in the case of BMW, and especially the Mercedes-Benz, which stands out as the most comfortable in this area. Moreover, it's also easy to notice that BMW and Mercedes are younger and have more tech features in this area. When it comes to pure measurements, Audi is actually the most generous with rear legroom with 44.3 inches. Mercedes-Benz and BMW are right there with 43.8 and 43.3 inches of rear seat legroom respectively. As for the trunk space, the 7 Series is actually the best with 19.1 cubic feet. The S-Class is good for about 18.9, while the A8 offers just 12.5 cubic feet of trunk space. Once again, Audi is the oldest one in this comparison, but does that mean it lacks modern features? Not at all. In Audi's typical fashion, there are a couple of screens on the center stack, with the upper one measuring 10.1 inches, reserved for infotainment controls. The lower one is good for 8.6 inches diagonally, and it controls air conditioning and other things that would back in the day come with physical controls. Speaking of physical controls, it's great that the volume knob is still there, while the well-known 12.3-inch digital cockpit is also part of the standard equipment, just like all kinds of connectivity features. Things are equally impressive in terms of comfort and convenience upgrades, considering that the rear bench can be swapped for a pair of captain's chairs, which are power adjustable with heating, ventilation, and massage. A heated foot massage is also available, just like the pair of entertainment screens. The S-Class, on the other hand, stands out with its 12.8-inch vertically oriented floating infotainment screen, which is easily one of the best infotainment systems in the business, with incredibly fast response and even more impressive intuitiveness. Voice commands, facial recognition, fingerprint scanning, these are just some of the fancy high-tech features you get with this one. Of course, it's needless to say that connectivity features like wireless smartphone integration are part of the standard equipment, while you can also enjoy excellent sonic features of Burmester 3D and 4D sound systems. Buyers can opt for power-adjustable reclining seats with massage function and additional heating, while the list of options also includes goodies like a couple of 11.6-inch entertainment screens as well as interactive LED interior lighting. We already mentioned that the 7 Series stands out with its massive curved panel that integrates infotainment and gauge cluster, while the fact it's reconfigurable makes it even more versatile than competitors' units. Crisp graphics and easy navigation are there, while rear passengers may enjoy infotainment screens integrated into door panels, which come with a 5G connection and stream services like Netflix and many more. One of the available upgrades we like to point out is the Executive Lounge package, which adds things like power-adjustable reclining rear seats with massage, wireless charging for the rear seat area, adjustable neck cushions, and many more. Under the hood, each model offers both 6- and 8-cylinder options. The BMW 7 Series comes standard with the 375 horsepower inline 6, which is equipped with a mild hybrid system and can take this massive sedan from 0 to 60 in about 4.9 seconds. For those looking for something peppier, the 7 Series is also available in a plug-in hybrid variant, equipped with the same inline 6 engine, but backed up by a powerful electric motor, which increases the combined output to 483 horsepower. Finally, there's the well-known 4.4-liter V8, with a couple of turbochargers and a max output of 536 horsepower, enough to hit 60 in a little bit over 3.5 seconds. The S-Class also comes standard with an inline 6 engine, but with notably more power. The max output is rated at around 430 horsepower, which is enough to hit 60 in about 4.5 seconds. The plug-in hybrid is good for about 510 horsepower and hits 60 in about 4.2 seconds, while the top of the offer, at least when we talk about regular versions, is reserved for a 4-liter V8 with 496 horsepower. That one can hit 60 in 3.9 seconds. Finally, the A8 comes with a slightly more modest powertrain lineup, pretty much based on a 3-liter V6 that puts out 335 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to hit 60 in 5.3 seconds and, unfortunately, the only regular A8 you can get. The rest of the lineup goes to the 563 horsepower S8, but we'll leave that, as well as AMG and M-badged versions, for some other time. In this video, we're comparing regular versions only, and when it comes to ride quality, the BMW is definitely our pick. It comes standard with air suspension, as well as rear-wheel steering and adaptive dampers. As a result, it's notably more agile than you'd expect from such a large sedan. It offers the best driving experience of the three. As for the S-Class, It's not on the 7 Series' level in terms of athleticism, but it's still quite impressive. Air suspension is part of the standard equipment, while you can also opt for the e-active body control that leans the car into corners. Moreover, rear wheel steering is also available, so altogether, the S-Class is surprisingly maneuverable and joyful to drive. Finally, the A8. Like a typical Audi, it offers a great mix of comfort and athleticism. Things like air suspension and adaptive dampers are standard, while the ride quality is also impressive. Still, the overall impression is that the Audi is a tiny bit below key rivals when it comes to overall driving experience. None of these luxury full sedans is cheap, which is kinda expected. Still, there's a notable difference in pricing between the three, as the A8 is the most affordable with a starting price of $92,000. The 7 Series starts at around $98,000, while the S-Class is by far the most expensive with a starting price that goes over $118,000. With all this in mind, it's hard to say which one is the best option. The A8 is the oldest and most affordable, but it's a great package overall. The BMW offers the best driving experience and impressive interior quality, but its styling seems too polarizing. This leads us to the S-Class, which is probably the most accomplished of the three. It's the best looking, modern enough, and with the best tech, and we do think that the price gap is justified. What's your thought on this? Which one is the best choice in your opinion? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.